What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to talk about how receivers can beat zone coverage or how they can beat off-man coverage. I think this is one of the most common questions that I get asked, and today we're going to break this down. And guys, please leave in the comments the next video you guys would like to see. Let's get started. So this receiver here, he's going to be running a dig, okay? I believe he plays for Oklahoma now. The main thing when we're facing off-man or zone coverage and we got to dig, we want to attack the midline of this DB, okay? Now, a common thing that people will do is they'll try to attack outside. They get this DB to turn his hips, and they try to break a dig right now. And what we understand is this DB's hips is already turned. He's already turned and faced to the inside. So he's going to be able to just recover, open up those hips, and play this dig, right? Or what they do is they just attack this inside right now. This DB's going to flip. He's going to get hands, and he's going to be able to make a break on this dig. So let's watch what this receiver does. He's going to be working a square cut. So he squares him up to the middle, gives him a jab to the outside on this square cut, then catches this ball. So main thing I want you to see is he just doesn't attack the outside, right? He kind of squares him up. You could see him plant off of this second step, and that gets him to attack the midline of this DB. We want to attack the middle of him because it gets him on his heels. It gets him sitting. He doesn't know which way we're going to break, right? We want to step on his toes metaphorically, right? So he breaks up. Now, when he starts to break down here, he works this square cut, okay? Fast hands, fast feet. Fast hands, fast feet. Now, he gives a jab to the outside. Now, the reason why we attack the midline is because we can get him to jump outside now. If we just attack his outside right now and just try to run here, then give him this square cut, he might turn his hips and run, but he'd just be able to open up and recover right now and get hands on us and make a play. So we want to square him up and attack the middle, give a jab to the outside, and you can see how much weight we get him on this left leg. He doesn't have hands on us. We're not in a position where he could get hands on us, and then we accelerate out of the break over the middle. That's a great job. Another important thing about beating zone coverage or off man is when we get to this point, guys, we got to stay in an explosive position, but we also got to accelerate out of the break. That's the main thing because this quarterback is working timing. Anytime against zone off man, if this is the zone, this is the window the quarterback wants to hit, right? He's going to be anticipating this window. So we got to make sure that we're there. We don't spend too much time at the top of this route. We get in and get out of the break. We're in an explosive position, and we get to that spot fast by accelerating out. Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. So he's coming out here, break down, stick to the outside, square him up, attack the midline, guys. I cannot stress that enough. Okay, so Odell's going to be running this out route against Jalen Ramsey here. This looks like about a cover 4 look, okay? So Ramsey's bailing, linebackers playing hook to curl, and then we got a safety over the top in this quarters concept almost, okay? So let's break this thing down. Let's watch it full speed first. So he's coming out, he takes his stem, breaks it vertical, 1-2 to the post, breaks this thing off flat, and catches this ball on this out. So, main thing is off the line of scrimmage, you can see him take this stem to the inside. What is he doing? Eyes, shoulders are in the inside, eyes are committed to the inside. What does that do to Ramsey? Opens up these hips, right? He was already started opened up, but we want him to think inside. We want him to think he has no threat of coming back to the outside. That's what we need. We want him to think inside the entire time. So what does he do here? He squares him up like he's going to be running vertical. Now what that does is that gets Ramsey to kick up into second gear. He might have a vertical threat now. So when he breaks this stem off, you call this a power step. He bursts upfield. Now he's going to be working a rocker step at the top of the route. A rocker step is a great way to get separation against zone or against off man, right? So he's coming here. Now what this rocker step does is sells like he's going post. See how Ramsey creeps over the middle. The main thing we want is Ramsey's hips turned. We want him to think post, think dig, whatever he wants to think, and then we break it back outside. We want him to think one way, then we go the other. So a rocker step is a great way of doing that. A rocker step is where we take like almost a crossover in the open field. So you see how Odell goes right, left, head and shoulder movement working with it and accelerates out of the break. You can see right, left, he commits his head and he commits his shoulders to the inside on that second step. That gets Ramsey to bite, okay? That's what we need to do against zone coverage. We always got to be manipulating with our head and with our shoulders, with our upper half, right? And then when he gets out of the break here, look what he's doing. He's running out of the break. See, Ramsey has to speed turn out of there, but we got separation. We're in that hole in this defense, right? So he's running out of this break. Linebacker's coming underneath this, right? So quarterback's going to have to put this thing over the top of him, but make the throw before Ramsey can make a break on this. He's accelerating out of this break, working to this spot. Eli gives him a good ball over the top. Toe taps, gets out of bounds. That's a great job attacking the zone coverage quarters concept by Odell Beckham Jr. Working this stem. So again, pressure step to push vertical, gets Ramsey to commit, gets him to turn and run a little bit. Rocker step to sell the post, forces him to speed turn out of there. It's a great job attacking zone coverage by Odell. Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. So he's coming out here. Rocker step, 1, 2, accelerate out of the break, catch this ball. Great job by Odell. Okay, so now we're going to be breaking down Keenan Allen. This is how to run a fade against off coverage, okay? How do you know it's zone coverage, right? They got a safety over the top here, right? So you could look at the safeties. If there's no safeties back there, chances are it's going to be man. They're trying to bring pressure. They're trying to pressure this quarterback, or they could bail out of it. You know what I mean? That's just a pre-snap look. But what we could also tell is this DB's eyes are in the backfield. He's not manned up on you. He doesn't have his eyes on your chest. He's not looking dead at you. That's how we can tell that this is zone coverage. Okay, so let's watch this thing full speed. So he's coming out, jab to the inside, power step. Again, selling like we're going post here. Now this DB plays it well, right? And you can see safety coming over the top. That tells you that it's it tells you that it's zone coverage, right? It tells you that it's where type of zone look. Now, when he's coming off the line of scrimmage here, I want you to see he's going fast and he picks his pad level up to sell like he's just going inside right now. Takes this pressure step or this power step to the inside, power jab. Again, committing his head and committing his shoulders to this post. What does that do? Gets this DB to sit. Now, the next thing though, guys, DB does a good job of reacting. He has a good job of reacting with this outside hand. If he didn't get hands on him, he wouldn't have any reason to make this play. But he does get hands on him, and then Keenan Allen has to avoid. Now this ball, zone coverage, right? We got to go up and get this thing, okay? We got to be able to go up and get this ball. We got to be able to go make plays against zone, against off man. It's a great job by Keenan Allen. This is how you run a fade against zone coverage. I get this question asked a lot. What do I just run right by him? If you just try to run right by him, he's going to wall you into the sideline. We're screwed, right? You got to give him a move to the inside, okay? You got to give him a 1-2 jab to the inside. Get him to sit inside. Get him to maybe open up those hips, think post, think slant, whatever you want him to think. This DB does a great job of playing this. Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. Jab to the inside. He bursts up, ball's a little underthrown, but he makes a great play on this high point. It's a good job by Keenan Allen. Okay, so now we're going to be breaking down a post corner. Now, again, how can you tell it's zone, right? This DB's off, and look at his stance. He's in a bail stance. His feet are split, so he's going to be backpedaling. We already know this just by alignment, right? And we know this by film. We study film all week on how these guys play it, how these guys play zone, how these guys play man. We know it's zone. And also, eyes. Eyes are in the backfield, right? No, it's zone coverage, okay? It's zone coverage 100%. Now, Julio's going to be working this post corner. Let's watch it full speed, then we'll break it down. So he's going to be working a post corner. Again, what did I talk about against zone coverage with our eyes and with our body and with our shoulders, right? So he's going to be working this post corner. So bam, he makes this stick to the inside, snaps his eyes back around, commits his shoulders, because there's nothing more than this DB's going to love out of zone coverage is to break on this ball out of his back pedal and go blow up Julio Jones on this post, or make a play, rip through his hands and pick this ball up. There's nothing he loves more than making a big play on something like this out of zone coverage. That's what they live for. They want to come out of this back pedal fast. That's why you see all these DBs work these back pedal drills and burst out, right? But we can use that to our advantage. These DBs are greedy. So we shoot our eyes around, we commit our shoulders over the middle, 3 hard steps, 3. Sudden stick. Now, when we're able to change direction against zone coverage, we got to be able to drop our hips. We got to be able to be in an explosive position, and we got to explode off of this plant, right, off of this cut. And that's exactly what he does here. Commits his eyes, commits his shoulders, gets this DB to jump inside, makes him fall, catches this ball. It's a great job by Julio Jones selling this thing with his eyes and his shoulder. That's one of the ways that you need to beat zone coverage, guys. We got to give the quarterback our eyes and our shoulders on a double move or on any single move, because his DB's off. He's got an advantage, right? Anytime they're in zone, they want to protect, like, especially when the corner's off, right? Let's say the corner's off. They want to prevent that deep ball. They don't want to get beat over the top. They want to try to force that off and say, you know what, you should run this ball. I'm daring you to run the ball. They want to take away the threat of the deep passing game. So we got to be able to give something to this DB to make ourselves open by committing our shoulders, giving this quarterback our eyes. Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. So he's coming out here. Eyes, head and shoulders, over the middle, sudden stick, accelerate out of the break like I talked about, making a big play by Julio Jones. Okay, so this is going to be a comeback, right? So DB's off. He knows he's dropping, okay? His feet are split. Now, this might be an off-man look. His eyes aren't in the backfield. Eyes are straight forward here, but we still got to treat this same thing like we're running, like we would attack zone coverage, right? So let's watch this thing full speed, then we'll break it down. So he's backpedaling, wants to force him into the sideline, snaps it off, then catches this ball. So in and out of the break fast is another key part of zone coverage, okay? So we're going to talk about that right now. Now, when he's bursting up, he wants to sell vertical, okay? You look at his pad level, he wants to get this DB backpedaling, okay? He wants to get him on these heels, so when he decides to snap it down on this comeback, we're in and out of this break fast before this DB can get there, okay? This is one of the most important aspects of beating zone coverage, all right? So he's selling vertical. That's what we have to do. He's closing the gap with this DB, stepping on his toes, getting him on his heels, getting him backpedaling out of there. That's what we need to do. Now he makes a pressure step to the inside. selling like he's going post. All he's doing right now is setting up this fade even more, because what did we talk about, right? Against zone coverage, how do we want to fade? We want to give him a jab to the inside and then burst upfield, right? That's exactly what he does here, and now he's selling like he's going vertical. Again, closing the distance. We're always attack-minded. We're getting him to turn and run. He's trying to wall us into this sideline, right? DB thinks he's playing the fade great. That's why the importance of selling of the fade is something that we need to do every single time we run a route, right? So now he breaks up and he snaps down. Now when he snaps down, this is such an important part. This part right here of the route is so important because it is a race back to the ball. And how are we, if we make this break and we stand super tall, we start to lean back right here, this DB is going to be coming out of this break full speed. And if we're slow at the top of the route, he's going to be able to make a play. Okay, that's not what we want. That's why DBs always work coming out of their back pedal. So we got to be able to burst up field here, snap it down, and you see how he's in and out of this thing in 3 steps. He drops his weight, sinks his hips, and brings his chin to his knee. That's the first step of the snap down. That's what we need to do in that initial snap down step to make sure that we're out of this thing fast. But the second 2 steps matter. You can see how he pivots with the second step, pivots with his third step, and he's bursting out of this break, right? That's 3 steps and he's already in and out of this break. Meanwhile, this DB's in this back leg right here, and he's out of his back pedal. We're going to see how many steps it takes this DB. It takes us 3 steps. It takes this DB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? And now he's running out of it. Who's going to get to this ball faster? And he's accelerating out of the break. See, the top of the route is very important right here. Snapping down, this is important. But we got to accelerate out of this break to make sure he doesn't get there first, right? And so he accelerates. He's pumping those arms. He's running out of the break, coming back to the ball, makes this catch. That's a great job working this comeback against off-man coverage. Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. So he's coming out. He's going to be selling post. Break up, snap down, accelerate out of the break, catch this ball. That's a great job by that receiver. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. Please leave in the comments who you would like to see me break down next. That would really mean a lot to me, or what kind of video you'd like to see next, and I'll see you guys next time.